Dolphins at Seahawks is the next game that we're going with here. No Tua Tagovailoa in this one. It's not the same. Oh, new quarterback, backup quarterback bump. I don't think it's not the same situation here with the
No.
Dolphins. But
Tua
what do you
didn't
think
get
the
benched.
matchup that matters is? Right.
Yeah. It's the Seahawks DBs against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, provided that, again, Skylar Thompson can get them. I think Skylar Thompson is the obvious one here, but I'm saving that for my plus factor. It's if he can get the ball to his receivers, who Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are not hard to get the ball to. What happens with those Seahawks DBs who are also playing extraordinarily well? The Seahawks have two of PFF's top 11 graded cornerbacks. Tyreek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon. I love Devin Witherspoon. He was one of my little draft crushes, not to mention he's an Illinois guy. And I didn't go to U of I, but it's just, you just like to see when these guys kind of come into the league because it doesn't happen very often. And these are guys that are they're a wonderful tandem. They're going to try and keep a lid on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Hill on targets of 10 plus yards downfield, which I'm not even sure he has any other kind of targets. 8 targets, 2 catches though for 101 yards. So not a lot of catches, still a lot of production. I also expect that to go up, 2 catches gaining a first down. So that should go up again with Skylar Thompson. This is kind of an iffy thing, but I do expect that this Seattle secondary, which is doing so incredibly well under Mike Macdonald, is going to be a really, really tough test and is going to do some different things. And just the athleticism of those 2 guys that I mentioned before, it's going to be really tough to diagnose exactly what coverages they're in and everything like that. And just on top of that, they hit hard. So
right, they do. No, the whole team's flying. There's no doubt about it. And the thing about Mike Macdonald, he's a smart dude, but I think more importantly, like, he's not a stubborn dude. So it's not just this like, hey, you got to run like whatever I'm telling you to run. This is how we do it. It's going to work against every single opponent. I think Macdonald showed last year in how versatile he was willing to be against or with Kyle Hamilton every single week. Is like, hey, you have to play different teams differently. You can't just be like, no, I mean, we are a this kind of team. It's got to be different every single week, or the good offense is going to figure you out. I can't wait to see what he has in store for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, because there's just not a lot of defenses that can even slow these guys down, let alone handle them. And I think that the Seahawks have the team speed and the tenacity and the confidence to be able to go up against 2 of the best wide receivers that we have in the game. And so I'm just really looking forward to seeing what Macdonald does. That'll be a fascinating film review a week from now. My matchup that matters is the Dolphins offensive line versus Seattle's defensive line. Seattle's defensive line playing very, very well. Boye Mafe, Byron Murphy II, Leonard Williams, all of them with pass rush grades above 70. They're able to attack all sorts of different areas of the defensive line, whether the guards can be weak, the center might be weak, the offensive tackles might be weak. These guys can align in a lot of different spots, and wherever you're weakest, I think they're going to be able to emphasize hitting you the hardest there. And for the Dolphins, I'm worried about Austin Jackson, their right tackle. 56.1 pass blocking grade through 2 weeks. The first week was good. It was really good. It was one of Austin Jackson's best single game performances, I think, that we have seen from him over the last couple of years. I think it was an 82.1 pass blocking grade, something around that. I was really impressed. Last week against the Bills, not so much. Von Miller basically cooked him. It was a 28.6 pass blocking grade, and he gave up 7 pressures. So complete opposite. Which one's the real Austin Jackson? Can the real Austin Jackson please stand up versus the Seattle Seahawks here? Boye Mafe's been playing pretty well, and obviously he'll get a matchup that I think he has the ability to get the upper hand on. Can he? I think this will be a nice barometer game for Boye Mafe as well. So how this underrated, I think, Seattle defensive line, because it's been a weaker unit on the team over the last 2 to 3 years, and I don't know if we were ready for the jump that it looks like they have made through the first 2 weeks. So them going up against the Dolphins offensive line is going to matter a lot in this one. What's your plus factor for this game?
Yeah, it's the obvious one. It's Skylar Thompson from Miami. And it's, can he keep up what the Dolphins started through the first 2 weeks of the season with Tua, which is going to be no easy task. I mean, these are the guys that They've been explosive, 30 plays gaining 10 or more yards, which is tied for third in the NFL. And that only happens if you can throw the ball and throw the ball often, because they haven't been able to get the run game going up until this point. They have no rushes gaining 20 or more yards so far this season, 220 rushing yards, which is 21st in the league. Either the run game is going to have to step up, or Skylar Thompson is going to have to be the one to continue what Mike Macdonald and this offense started. And again, not going to be easy.
Right. No, there's no doubt about it. And I think somebody that they've got to lean on a lot is Devon Achane. And he's my plus factor in this one. I think we talk about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and for good reason. You highlighted him as a matchup that matters, and I definitely believe that. But Achane's been, I don't want to say bottled up, because I think he has a decent amount of 10-yard runs, but like those crazy runs, like the 20+ yard runs, the things that we saw from the Dolphins run game last year, the just total takeover, difference making, explosive runs, they're not present in the game right now. And it's tough to like predict or build around those, because that's just often special football players doing special things. But Achane has special playmaking ability. And so I think that you've got to lean on that more, and hopefully that with more carries and more touches, he continues to be a very efficient and explosive back for you. So with an increased workload now, with the ball not into his hands nearly as much because he's not out there, I think that's going to mean a lot to how explosive this offense can remain. So I think that he is the big plus factor in this one, if he can continue to be that type of a back with his speed as a weapon.